Drawing the pole for the combined heat race would be Chris Washer in the 5 car. Matthew Nicholson in the 66 would be on his outside. Down into turn 1, Chris Washer would easily take the lead as the inside was fairly dominant on the start. Coming out of oval 1, William Nicholson would drop to the inside of Chris Washer, making it 3 wide into the hook-on onto the road course section of the track. And through Raritan Flow, William would take the lead. Coming through Kessel, Johnny Appleseed would be the first car to go off the track after contact with his teammate Matthew Stringer and Pichu London. He would manage to save that car from going into the tires and would continue on, albeit well off the pace of the leaders. Coming through Bauer S, Tyler Thaber would be shoved off track, things not going his way in his home state race so far. Once again, coming into the hook-on, Michael Caine would drop to the inside of William Nicholson, making a bit of a dive bomb into the corner. He would make it stick, and coming through Raritan Flow, he would be able to get a nice run off the second half of the right-hander of Raritan Flow and would take the lead. Coming down the long straightaway between Oval 2 and Oval 3, William Nicholson would get to the inside of Michael Caine, and coming into Oval 3, he would take the lead. Oval 3, of course, being the last corner on this track. James O'Shea would follow him through into second place, with William Nicholson making it 3 wide with Chris Washer and Michael Caine to take over third. As they closed in on turn 1, James O'Shea took the lead from William Nicholson, but Matthew Nicholson would grab the lead from him in Oval 1. It seems that the Nicholsons have been fairly dominant today, and they definitely seem to have some pretty fast cars for the endurance race. As now Chris Washer's taking a look on the inside, but I don't think it's going to work. Matthew Nicholson's going to continue to be our leader. Through Kessel, however, Chris Washer would take the lead. Matthew Nicholson went a bit wide through Raritan Flow and got into the grass, causing him to have to check up a bit. And Chris Washer took this opportunity to take the lead. However, Matthew Nicholson would try again to take it into Bauer S. That certainly is not going to work, because although you may have a run through the first part, the second part you simply won't be able to complete the pass. Into the oval sections of the course, however, Matthew Nicholson and James O'Shea would get by Chris Washer, and James O'Shea would move his way up into the lead for the first time today. However, Chris Washer, coming to the start-finish line, would get a run on him, but it doesn't look like he would be able to make it stick. Although he has help from Alex Tanker, James O'Shea was just too strong, and James O'Shea will hold on to the lead for now. Battling for 18th place, Spencer Fullerton would go off the track and hit the outside wall, where he would then spin. No one would hit him, luckily, but he would have to come into the pits to repair some of that damage and would be off the pace for the rest of the event. Not a good start to his weekend. Into Oval 3, once again, the long straightaways proving to be a bit of a drafting battle as Chris Washer gets to the inside of James O'Shea and takes the lead. However, Richard Trelinsky would get to the inside as we have a few lanes that are 3 wide here. This 8-car pack is kind of driven away a little bit from their nearest rivals. However, if they continue racing like that, that certainly isn't going to last for long. Richard Trelinsky started this race 16th, and I think we're only on lap 5, so pretty impressive that he's been able to get himself to the front this quickly. Richard Trelinsky would drive away, at least until they got to the oval section of the course, where Chris Washer would get to the inside. William Nicholson trying to force his way up the middle as there's some contact between Dakota Honecker and Andreas Allen there that could have been a lot worse had they not backed off. Some pretty intense racing, considering we're only at the first quarter mark of this race. Down the front straightaway, Dakota Honecker and Andreas Allen would team up to get by Chris Washer, but Andreas Allen wasn't content with running second. He got to the inside Dakota in oval turn 1 and would take the lead. A little bit further back in the field, Johnny Fingai would drive it in Raritan flow too hard, would get off the road along with Tyler Faber. He was able to get back on the road. But then Johnny would slide up the track, sending Ilya Bondarenko off the road. Ilya would be able to continue, although quite a few positions back from where he was. Johnny just had no grip there when he got back onto the circuit. Coming to the end of the lap 6, Mark Nutt would come into the pits to begin the cycle of green flag pit stops. He came in virtually on his own, so he's definitely not going to be doing well when he comes out. Not to mention the fact that I don't know whether he's going to be able to make it on just 2 stops, which most of the drivers plan on doing now with him coming in this early. Meanwhile, back out front, Alex Tanker is challenging Andreas Allen. They put about a 1.5-second gap upon the upon the rest of the top 10. But if they continue racing like that, they are going to get caught in a hurry. No, they are not really drafting each other, and well, the rest of the pack is just going to come flying up on them as well. The gap is already shrinking in a hurry. Alex Tanker is going to take the lead for now. Dakota Honecker tries to drop to the inside. Matthew Nicholson's already there. A little bit of contact nearly made there. But well, the pack's back in one big group again. With used tires, some of these drivers just seem to be driving it a bit too hard. Dakota Honecker and Paul Swanson both drive off the circuit. Luckily, though, Dakota slows down and merges onto the track safely, avoiding this making someone go off the track on the other side like Johnny Finguy did earlier. Out of Menlo's sweep, TJ Dent in the 18 would drop to the inside of Alex Tanker coming into Rutgers Bend, and with a nice run he would be able to clear him into the oval section of the course. At the end of lap 7, 2 more drivers would make their way to the pits, Ophelia Ndumi and Scott Batista. They're still pushing it as far as making it to the end of the race in just one more stop. Down the long front straightaway, Richard Trelinsky would drop to the inside of Alex Tanker and take the lead. Johnny Finguy would again go off the racetrack, this time going hard into the wall and luckily not moving anyone else off the track as well. Johnny Finguy definitely battling an ill-handling race car right now. Either that or he's just not really adjusted to this track yet. Under this lap, all the other drivers who had yet to pit came into the pits to make their first pit stops of the race. Coming back out on track first would be William Nicholson in the 56, who had a great pit stop after coming into the pits third and leaving with the lead. Paul Swanson would leave in second spot. Alex Allen has moved up from 22nd now into second here, going for the lead into this corner. Just drives by William Nicholson like he isn't even standing still. That crew had a fantastic pit stop, getting it looked like 4 tires and fuel in 10 seconds, and came flying out of the pits. Didn't break pit road speed, of course, but he has passed already 3 cars since the exit of pit road as well. So Alex Allen definitely has come to life in the last couple of since his pit stop. Whatever that crew did, fantastic job on their part. After pit stops, Tyler Faber, again having trouble keeping that car on the road, comes up the track and takes out Matthew Nicholson off the road. Matthew would continue, but would fall to the back of the pack. Alex Tanker would also go wide in the 19 car. He would come up the track, have no one to run into, and would slide off the other side. He would try to make it back onto the course, but would clip the end of the pit wall. He would be our first DNF of the day. Alex Allen would have a fairly massive lead coming into the oval section, but the oval section seems to be the equalizer, as this pack of cars is easily able to catch up to Alex and reformed with him. 3 wide racing into Kessler would cause an accident as Jacob Young slid up into Damir Bezhianov, and both of them went off the track. Jacob Young went hard into the wall there in the 22, he would retire from that crash. William Duncan and Dakota Honaker would also have some trouble with Kessler. They both continued on, but they spent a fair time in the grass. While this was happening, Jeffrey Fingai would take the lead from Alex Allen through Kessler. Down the long front straightaway, Alex Allen and Paul Swanson would get inside of Jeffrey Fingai, making it 3 wide for the lead, and Alex Allen would retake it on the inside. Paul Swanson would take the lead from Alex Allen, coming through Kessler as Alex ran wide. On the straightaway between Oval 2 and Oval 3, Pichu London would get to the inside of Paul Swanson and take the lead for himself. First time he's been up front so far this race as Alex Allen drafts up to them both. Coming through Oval 1 the next lap, Alex Allen would retake the lead for himself as the pack is caught up to these 3 drivers who were racing pretty hard there in the oval section. William Nicholson would clear Alex Allen coming through the hook-on. While racing for 25th spot with Tyler Thaber, Matthew Stringer would blow a motor. This was coming down the front stretch, so Matthew Stringer would have to drive nearly 6 miles on that blown motor to get back to the pits. Coming into Oval 3, Scott Batista in the 91 has made his way up into the lead pack and has actually taken the lead now out of the final corner. Scott Batista was one of the cars that pitted on lap 7, so on a completely different fuel strategy than most of these guys, as Richard Trelinsky squeezes up the middle to try and make it 3 wide for the lead coming down into Oval 1. Jeffrey Fingai on the inside, Richard Trelinsky in the middle, and Scott Batista on the outside. Jeffrey Fingai would take the lead in the 20 car. Inside the top 10, Pichu London would slide up the track into Paul Swanson coming through Raritan Flow, and they would go into the wall. Paul Swanson would spin the car while Pichu London was able to keep that car going, although he would not he would not slide up the track as so many have done in the previous laps. Right now, the field has divided themselves up into 2 main packs, along with a few back markers lagging behind. We have the first pack, which you see here, and the second fairly large pack that you see coming underneath the tunnel here. This track actually runs underneath itself during the road course section. Lap 13 would see the second cycle of green flag pit stops start as Jeffrey Fingai, Gerald Reddington, William Nicholson, Ophelia Dumian, Michael Kane, Mark Nutt, Sawyer Girl, Andreas Allen, Skylar Dixon, Terrence Day, and Pichu London would make their way onto pit road. With 9 laps to go, these guys are going to be hard-pressed to make it to the end of the race on the fuel that they get from this stop. William Duncan would also come into the pits. Coming down pit road, the next lap would be Ty Dent, who was running second to his teammate TJ Dent. Scott Batista, Alex Allen, Paul Swanson, and Tyler Thaber would also make their way down pit road this lap. This would leave a 2-car lead pack on lap 15. Soon to be 1 car as TJ Dent runs off track and slaps the wall. Seems to be struggling on those older tires, and he would run off the other side as well, narrowly avoiding the pit wall, actually getting into it a little bit, but he would continue on, albeit as part of the second pack. Meanwhile, at the back of the pack, Terrence Day, after making his pit stop, would blow up. He'll be starting from the back in the endurance race. At the end of lap 15, the lone car of Dakota Honaker would make his way onto pit road. Spencer Fullerton would also come down, but about a minute and a half after this. The worn tires are really getting the better of people as Tamir Beishanov slides off the road of Raritan Flow and slaps the wall. His day, he was in third, has just gotten a lot worse. This lap, all the drivers that had yet to pit would come down pit road. Richard Trelinsky, James O'Shea, TJ Dent, Mike Doan, Kyle Polanini, and some others. Exiting pit road with the lead would be Richard Trelinsky, who came in first. Gerald Reddington has somehow made his way up into second with his different pit strategy, and he's going for the lead on on Richard Trelinsky right now. at least one of the CA Motorsports cars is doing well today. Ty Dent, after completing his pit stop, would merge on the track, and Jeffrey Fingai was not expecting him to merge that quickly, and they got into each other and spun off the track in the hook-on. Richard Trelinsky and Gerald Reddington could easily team up and drive away from the rest of the field to perhaps settle it for the victory themselves, but Gerald Reddington is not going to let that happen. He drops to the inside through turn 3, and they would continue side by side all the way down the front stretch, allowing Mike Doan in third and the pack behind, the small pack behind, to catch up to these two. Gerald Reddington would end up taking the lead down in turn 1. Through the hook-on, as Scott Batista and the other cars have caught up, Richard Trelinsky would get a nice run on the outside and retake the lead. Gerald Reddington slides off the road and into the wall. Like so many people have done so far today, he just drove it a bit too hard through Raritan's flow, and now he has a significant amount of damage. Into the oval section of the course, Scott Batista and Alex Allen moved to the outside of Richard Trelinsky, teaming up to try and get around him, perhaps preparing for a last lap turn of events here to see if they can get something done on the outside, and they certainly can, as they will move into first and second. At the end of lap 18, Skylar Dixon and William Duncan would make their way onto pit road. They're already out somehow, and well, they're going to be stuck with some relatively mediocre starting positions. Just 4 laps to go now. Scott Batista would slide off the road from the lead, coming back out on track, nearly making some contact with Richard Trelinsky. Scott Batista would keep himself off the tire wall, but that is gonna take him out of contention for this victory. After Scott Batista slid off the road, it would be Alex Allen taking the lead from Richard Trelinsky, as we now have just a 5-car pack that looks to be battling it out for the victory here. Down the front straightaway, Richard Trelinsky would take the lead back from Alex Allen. Coming through Raritan Flow, Jeffrey Fingai would slide up into Johnny Appleseed, spinning him, sending him into William Duncan. Jeffrey Fingai and William Duncan trying to get back on course. No grip. Watch out. Oh, Jeffrey Fingai and William Duncan both hard into the tire wall. Jeffrey Fingai actually getting his back wheels off the ground there. Hard hits for them. Johnny Appleseed will be the only one out of these 3 to continue. With 2 laps to go, Ophelia and Dumian, who was running in the second or third pack, would slide off the road once again in Raritan's Bend, would slide up the track, get a bit of a bump from Luka Obrovac, and like so many others have done today, would drive himself into the pit wall. I don't know why the drivers just use that separate paved pit exit there to just avoid that pit wall. As we come around oval turn 3, we're coming to the white flag, this time by TJ Dent forces Richard Trelinsky up the track. We've got a line of 3 cars on the bottom. They're going to freight train Richard Trelinsky, that's for sure. Richard Trelinsky, he's definitely going to have a hard time getting back to the front from that. As white flag is out, TJ Dent leads at the taking of the white flag. Look at Alex Allen coming up between Mike Doan and Richard Trelinsky up into third. Coming through the second part of Raritan Flow, Richard Trelinsky is giving it all he's got, that's for sure. Driving along the outside of Mike Doan. Mike Doan slides up into them. They make some contact, but hold on, and Richard Trelinsky is going to move up into the 4th position. Coming through Kessler, TJ Dent gets separated from the rest of the top 4. Alex Allen and Richard Trelinsky trying to move up into 2nd and 3rd places respectively. They look like they're going to be able to do it coming into Bauer S right now. They are able to do so. Alex Allen and Richard Trelinsky now right on the back bumper of TJ Dent. Out of the tunnel, Alex Allen tries to get underneath TJ Dent in Menlo's sweep. Almost past him there, and now down to the second part of it. TJ Dent trying to come back up the outside. Look at Richard Trelinsky coming up the middle here. Richard Trelinsky forces Alex Allen slightly off the track. Alex is alright. TJ Dent trying to hold on the outside. Richard Trelinsky with the run into Rutgers Bend. Richard Trelinsky trying to get him on the inside. If he does not clear him into the oval section, he does not have a chance. Richard is able to do so. TJ Dent moves back into second. Coming out of the final corner, the top two have separated from the last three. TJ Dent isn't going to have a shot here to go against Richard Trelinsky, and Richard Trelinsky goes from first to fifth to first, all in the last lap, to win the heat race for the round of New Jersey. TJ Dent in the 18 has to settle for second after leading for most of the final lap. He'll get quite a few bonus points from that. Championship points for that. Gerald Reddington gets third in the 12 car with quite a bit of damage on the right side. Pretty impressive for that team. Alex Allen in the 49 after that fantastic pit stop early on, moving from outside the top 20 into this group to battle it out for the victory, finishes fourth. And Mike Doan is going to round out the top 5. Just after taking the checkered flag and finishing 19th, Scott Batista is going to blow a motor in the 91 car. He will, although he finished the race, he's going to have to go to a backup engine and therefore is going to be starting in the 29th position. Unfortunate for that team.